Hey everyone, in this video we're going to learn about virtual functions, how to use them, where it can be useful, and many much more things. And in the previous video we have learned about the inheritance, and this video is also related to the inheritance. If you haven't seen my video on the inheritance, then you can check out the link I have given in the description, or you can click on the card on the top right corner of your screen. So let's get started. So what are the virtual functions? As the name suggests that it is virtual, that means it may not be exist in that class, right? For example, if we have a class like this base, right? We have a base class, and this is gonna be our base class, and a second class is derived. Okay, now we are deriving this base class, all the properties or the functions into this derived class, right? So let's public base, or note that you can also write here private and protected, or just a public. For the simplicity we are taking just a public. Okay, let's so here we have derived the contents of this base class into our derived class, right? And note that if we have a function here, let's say public void, let's member function, something like this. Okay, and suppose that we want to have some this kind of function, exactly same signature into this derived class, right? Or you can also take some more intuitive example like this get name, right? If this base class represents some kind of entity or something object, uh, so you can it is very meaningful function. And if you want to just let's say it is a player or something, Bob, right? Yeah, so you want to so you would want so you may want to just override this function. That means you want to replace this function. So how you can do that? One thing you can do is the member hiding. You can implement member hiding. You can hide this name, you can hide this symbol by redefining here. For example, let's say public void get name, right? That means if you provide some kind of content here like this statement, get name, let's say Bob, or std and line, and here also let's say stdc out some kind of entity, or let's change the name here, entity. Okay, entity. Okay, again let's say, so we are all set up. Let's check let's check this out. Let's check this out, which function is called if we just instantiate this Bob. Let's say Bob. Now let's Bob dot get name. So here we are. Okay, now let's compile it, compile and run. Okay, so let's g++ c example dot cppo example dot 2o. We have created the object file. Object file is being created. Okay, let's say link this example 2.0. Let's say app.exe. Okay, so you can see that we have called this function, this function, and we are not calling this function get name, right? So this is called the member hiding. Okay, so we have successfully implemented the member hiding. You can also so what is called the member hiding? It is just the re-implementing or redefining the all the members which are residing in the entity class or just the base class, and we can just redefine them in the derived class, and this is what we call the member hiding. And apart from the member hiding, there is called the polymorphism, and polymorphism is implemented or just done on the runtime, right? It is decided to which function is called at the runtime. So let's see how we can implement this runtime polymorphism or runtime binding, right? So let's say that you have created a pointer, right? So let's Bob equals to new Bob, right? And note that this Bob this Bob class is derived from this entity. That means the Bob is of type. That means the Bob is of type entity. What does it mean here? That we can just cast it. We can implicitly cast it to our entity, right? Since this Bob is of type entity, we can just assign it to entity pointer, right? Now let's call the function, and note that if we want to access a member referenced by a pointer of a class, then we have to use the indirection operator, which is something like the hyphen and this kind of thing, right? It is an arrow operator or indirection operator, we can also say. So if you want to use uh, if you are working with pointers, then you must have to use this indirection operator. If you want to just if you're just working on the stack objects, then you must have to use the dot operator, and you must have to be very careful here. Okay, so let's call this function get name. So what it will be printed, so let's see. Let's again compile it. Let's run this. Okay, now you can see that it is being printed entity, right? But we have instantiated an object in the heap of type Bob, not the entity, not the only entity. That means it is also entity and it is also Bob. But we are getting the name of this Bob, and it must print the Bob, not the entity. So how we can do this, how we can implement this kind of functionality, and this is the idea of the virtual functions. We can make this, we can mark this function as a virtual. That means it may be exist or not. That means if there is a class which is derived from this entity, if there is a class which is derived from this entity, and it is overriding, this derived class is overriding this virtual, then it will become invisible, right? It will become invisible. So this is why there is virtual functions, and this is why the keyword is named as virtual. So let's mark this virtual, right? Okay, so we have marked this function as a virtual. Now we must also have to designate this function signature, that we are overriding this function, which is also marked as virtual. So to override this, we must have to write the keyword override after the signature and the parenthesis, right? Okay, so we are almost done. Now let's see what's the output. Okay, now you can see that it is printing Bob. Boom, you have got the concept. Okay, so this is the virtual override pair, and there's something called the pure virtual function. And this is the part of the next video, because in the next video we will discuss about the abstract classes and interfaces. So this is pretty much for this video, and we will learn more about the abstract classes and interfaces in the next video.